G'day, we're here in Melbourne with the EFC former fighter Shannan Ponton and biggest loser trainer. Shannan, how you going?
Mate, I'm very well, bud. It's good to be back in the hometown.
Shannan, just a couple of questions, mate. Just tell us why you gave EFC a shot a couple of years ago.
Mate, there's so many people that talk about boxing, they're always armchair critics, I'm good at this and I'm good at that, but not too many people get into the ring and actually have a fight. Now, for me, mate, there was everything to lose. Everyone wanted to see the poof trainer from The Biggest Loser with his shaved legs and his dyed hair get his head knocked off. That made me more determined to train harder and get in the best condition that I'd been in since I was 20 years of age. Mate, there's a massive fear of failure stepping into the ring. It's a 50-50 chance. People are scared to go on roller coasters because they're scared to fail. In a boxing ring, mate, there's only one person coming out with the silverware. You've got a 50-50 chance of getting beaten. For me, it was all about myself. I had everything to lose. If I'd have got me block knocked off, every gossip paper in Australia would have covered it that Shannan got belted. That was enough for me to fire up and train as hard as I'd ever trained. Now, stepping into that ring, I think, was one of the greatest adrenaline rushes that I ever had. And it wasn't for anybody else, mate, it was for me. Been the Biggest Loser trainer now for 8 years. And there's not a trainer in Australia that wouldn't do things different, better. Oh, they cry too much on TV and Shannan yells too much and their form's bad. There's one problem, champ. I'm here and you're not. Now, for me, I want to stay on top of my game. To do that, the next step was to fight pro. Mate, I didn't want to use the headgears. I didn't want to use the amateur rules. I wanted to fight pro. And it was a pretty challenging thing, champ.
I've got to say, it was a good performance. I was impressed. And did you put much training in for that?
I did, mate. I trained harder than I'd ever trained, bud. I trained for about 6 weeks. I had 2 great trainers in Sydney, Paul Anderson and August Vayafale, who's done a bit of work with Hopper and those boys. And mate, as you know, the bloke that I fought was 13 years younger and he was 4 kilos heavier on the night, so I was giving up a fair bit. But if I was going to fight, and I was going to fight pro, I wanted to be trained properly and I wanted to fight properly. And I think that's the structure that you've set up very well, mate, at EFC. It is proper boxing training. You're going to learn more about yourself than you'd ever believe. It's not about the 6 minutes you spend in the ring. It's about what you learn on yourself on the way through, how you deal with fear, how you talk to yourself, what's your self-talk. Are you really brave? Can you take that step in? When the pressure's on, can you suck it up? Only by throwing yourself into situations like this do you get to experience the true nature of your soul. Because only then do you know who you really are. And that's the thing that I found in EFC, mate.
What do you think the everyday person is going to get out of it most?
You got to feel you're alive, mate. You got to, as we said before, the fear of failure should be enough to spur you on to train as hard as you possibly can. The everyday punter is going to find a side of themselves that they never knew they had. High-end executives, desk staff, people in Kmart, for goodness sake, have a side of them that they've never seen. A competitive side, a killer streak, the ability to want to win, the ability to rise up above self-doubt.
Now, I've got to say, just in EFC, we have a charity involved. And we change our charities every time. We're involved with Beyond Blue at the moment. What do you think of the aspect that EFC brings for charity, Shannan?
Mate, I think combining the two is unstoppable. Suicide is growing at a frightening rate. And you know, mate, the rate that it's growing most at is blokes about our age. 35 to 50-year-old men are starting to top themselves. That's absolutely frightening. As men, we know you've got to stand up and be tough. Suck it up, you're a man. But when it gets too tough, ask for help, for goodness sake. That's why it's wonderful to be associated with Beyond Blue. So be a man and suck it up, and when it gets too much, be a man and ask for help.
Well, mate, I think that covers it. I've got to say that it was a pleasure having you in EFC. Mate, thanks for your time today, and I'll see you soon.
We might be back another day, mate.
Never know,
Live
mate.
to fight another day.
That's he's pro, isn't he?